Before I do anything, I like to ask the question, what is the benefit of me doing this? So for example, before I started meditation many years ago, I was a very busy person. I was leading a startup. I had so much going on, like 20, 30 minutes every morning. I don't have time for that. So I went to an introduction to meditation course and I asked the lead meditator, so what are the benefits of this? What can I expect on the other side of this? And he said, well, everything changes. And at the time, I remember being like, that's not very specific at all. Now, a few years down the line, I would come to learn that yes, everything does change. And it's very hard to put into words exactly what or in what ways because everything changes. But you know what? I'm going to be very specific in this video. So in the last two videos that I've published, I've talked about how to increase your self-love, and I've also talked about or shared my experiences with inner child healing in order that you can see what is possible for you as well. So what are the benefits of these two, self-love and inner child healing? So in this video, I'm going to share with you 6 specific, transformative, and powerful and tangible ways your life will benefit as a result of greater self-love and healing the inner child. And my hope in sharing these 6 is that they will inspire you to feel optimistic and empowered about what is possible. Because yes, this journey requires courage. And if it's going to require courage from you, then you should know what awaits you on the other side. So before we begin, thank you for joining me in this week's video. If this topic resonates with you, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe on your way in. As you do so, I'd love to welcome you into the growing Now I Rise community. Your support also helps this video reach those who can really benefit from it. So thank you so much for doing that. Now let's begin with the first transformation. Transformation number 1, you're going to feel a desire to express genuine love. Now, I remember sometime after graduation, I was walking around the streets of DC one evening and I ran into this good old friend of mine from the South. And she ran up to me and gave me a tight hug, gave me a warm greeting and said, "How are you doing?" And in return, I gave her what was probably the worst hug ever. And she called me out on it, lovingly, of course, chastising me, saying, "You need to look into that." And she was right. As far as I can remember, I have had a hard time expressing myself emotionally or giving affection of any kind because I didn't really receive it as a child. I didn't know how to give it, right? Because when the inner me felt unloved, it doesn't know how to love. We're too busy trying to survive in a world where we didn't feel that, right? So when we felt unloved growing up, you don't feel confident in giving that. Now, this can manifest in a number of ways. One, it can lead to a protective armor that you put around yourself where, affectionate touch becomes uncomfortable, or it can manifest in ways that seeks pleasure, but not affection or love tied to it. Right? So when you heal, you realize that the pain was never real to begin with because the story of inner child wounds is a story that we've told ourselves that I was unloved. I didn't get what I deserved growing up. When in reality, you are spirit. You are image and likeness of divine love. And that means you are God's greatest creation. You are worthy of infinite love. You have always been loved since the inception of time, and nothing can change this truth. The more we align with this spiritual narrative of who we are, our at-one-ment with God becomes manifest and clear, and that at-one-ment comes with it a source of deep inspiration, deep fulfillment, deep joy, deep love, because our spiritual nature is the same as God's spiritual nature at our core. When we don't identify with this purely material manifestation, are you following me? As spirit, you reflect the immense beauty and majesty and joy of God. When you get with this truth, all other stories they lose their power, and you realize the presence of love that has always been inside of you. So the 13th century Sufi mystic Rumi once wrote, "Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built up against it." And my story demonstrated that. If you watch my previous video, right? It was the greater story identifying with the fact that I am at one with divine love that destroyed all other stories. No other limiting story can hold a candle to the brightness that comes when you identify as spirit and as one with divine love. You've always been held in the hands of divine love. And so when you get with that story, this immense feeling of love, right? It's almost like the barriers, the armor that you've been carrying around to survive. That is going to be broken, and that love is going to want to express itself through you. You're at one with it, and it is an immense force that will want to love through you. It will use you to love. And in essence, I think that's actually our number one purpose for being, to express the love that is already within. You don't have to find it outside of you. It's already there. The second transformation is that you will feel a greater sense of self-love, self-appreciation, self-respect, and self-confidence. See, when the inner monologue of pain or unworthiness was running the show, that pain or that narrative acted like a magnet, right? So you said to yourself, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, because you perhaps didn't feel that way growing up. So it attracts into your experience everything that continues to validate the inner pain narrative. So think of the pain as a magnet, and it is drawing in everything that is validating your inner monologue experience. It creates and perpetuates the feeling of being unloved, the feeling of being unworthy. It's going to bring things, people, experiences into your life that is going to reflect this. But when you are free of the pain narrative, when the narrative within changes to, I've always been loved, I am worthy of love, I am capable of love, I am lovable, I am loving, and I am the manifestation of love. When the narrative changes, it's almost like your spiritual nature, which is the number one primary identity of who you are, that spiritual nature is going to be free to express itself. You are free to appreciate who you are. Love the uniqueness of you. Express love through you. You are free to write your most beautiful story. And life is going to meet you at your level of perceived self-worth. So if you identify as spirit, right, which is of infinite value and worth, you're not going to settle for anything less than this. And life is going to meet you at this level. Life will value you the same way that you value yourself. It has to start from within yourself first. Okay, the third transformation, I'm holding up 4 right now. The third transformation is that you are going to attract healthier relationships into your life, because you can only attract relationships that are as high as your level of self-worth and self-appreciation. Because when you learn to love yourself, to treat yourself better, to put yourself as the priority, then guess what? Others are going to learn how to do the same. We are teaching others how to love us by the way that we love and take care of ourselves. And the more we take care of ourselves, the more we appreciate ourselves, others will love us at that level, right? So if the inner pain narrative says I'm hurt, I'm not lovable, I'm not desirable, then like a magnet in the past, it drew people into your life, or is drawing people into your life, that is going to make you feel this way. But when you're free of this, you're no longer going to attract these same people. They won't even come into your sphere. In my own experience, when I learned to genuinely appreciate myself and take care of the inner child within me and make sure he's good, he's loved, it was almost like night and day. The kind of people, the quality of people, friendships, the quality of romantic relationships, The quality of my family relationships, they absolutely changed because I was no longer attracting from this autopilot place of unconscious attracting, right? Based on survival skills and coping mechanisms. Instead, as one heals, one desires more conscious and healthy connections. That's the beautiful thing. As you heal, you will desire something healthier because, as some people say, your nervous system now is going to thrive when it's in connection with others who are giving you a sense of peace, deeper relating, love. It's not going to be attracted like a drug to that which made it feel like it was having some sort of emotional high or that turbulence, that up and down. That's not going to be attractive anymore. It's going to seek healthy relationships, and automatically your healing is going to draw towards you more aligned, healthy relationships into your life in every area of your life. Number 4 is that you will be sought out as a healer for others. So as you heal, you will naturally be sought out by others who will wonder, what is this person doing to take care of themselves? Hey, they look a little younger. Hey, they look a little more amazing. They look a little more energetic. Something about this vibe of this person is different. You look younger. You look healthy. Have you been working out? This is some of the feedback that I've gotten, and this is some of the feedback that you are going to notice as well. Because you're not only going to feel wonderful inside, that wonderful feeling inside, that connection with joy and love that your spirit so resonates with because it is the truth of its identity, it's going to express itself outwardly, right? It's why when we're sad, miserable, depressed, that manifests outwardly. The opposite effect happens as well. People are going to see this. I've walked through the streets, I kid you not, and people have stopped me in the middle of the sidewalk and said, hey, can you teach me about God? Can you show me how to do what you're doing? And I would ask them, because I didn't know them, like, why are you asking me? And they would say, something told us to reach out to you. Whether it's on the sidewalk, whether it's online, I've noticed this. The more you heal, the more you reach for truth, the more you express truth, people are going to reach out to you and say, hey, can you help me too? And this is a blessing. It's deeply humbling. It's a great responsibility, right? And again, as you heal, you will have a desire to express this love. And this is one of the ways in which the love will express itself, to be a blessing to others who come across your path and say, hey, can you teach me what you learned? And this is eventually why I started my coaching practice, so I can teach everything I know to be true and effective so that my clients can live a more free, fulfilled life and do all of this for themselves and not be reliant on anybody else or anything else for healing other than divine love. I needed some guidance initially so that I can have the tools, right? And the right idea about life so that I could begin to address it myself. And so can you. And believe me, I've said this so many times throughout my own journey, that if someone like me can do this, anyone, believe me, anyone, including you, can do it. If my transformation is possible, your transformation is possible. There is no one endowed with greater abilities or skills than other. Why? Because we are all connected to and are the reflection of divine love. So at our highest identity, we are drawing from the same source. Number 5 is that the world is going to become a more beautiful place as you see yourself as more beautiful. As you see yourself as more loved, as you heal yourself, you will begin to see that everything doesn't just happen, everything happens perfectly. When we're in the unhealed state, we say, hey, the world did this to me, this person did this to me, the government did this to me, the patriarchy did this to me, this person did this to me, that person did that to me. We're blaming everything else. But from a more healed place, you will begin to see that everything is unfolding perfectly, and that is for your evolution towards truth and the realization that you are spirit and the image and reflection of divine. Everything that happens in our life is designed to reveal that central truth. So I don't want to glorify pain in any way, but even our pain serves as like an alert system, a beacon that says, hey, maybe we can think more elevated or think higher about the situation that you're in. Because when you think higher, when you reach for higher, when you strive for the truth, that truth will set you free. That truth is going to heal you of whatever it is that you're working through. So the pain is there as a signal to elevate us. The pain is not necessary, but it's going to be there as long as our thoughts about ourselves, life, and our relationship with the divine is in a state of error. When we correct that, the healing happens, and we're going to see the world in a much more beautiful place. And that takes me to number 6. The more beautiful that you see the world, life is going to present to you with wonderful opportunities. And this is going to show up in so many different ways. The more you value yourself, the more others will value you and entrust you with projects, with situations, with experiences. They're going to put you in places of leadership because you have demonstrated that you are capable of rising to the occasion. You have demonstrated the trust. You have demonstrated the courage. You have demonstrated the integrity, the capability, the vision to be capable of taking on more. So the more you heal, the more others will see your value, the more opportunities you will be presented. Look, the more you value yourself, as I mentioned, others will value you as well. And this happened recently. I was having a meeting with somebody, and we got to a financial component of this meeting where we discussed salaries for this new position that I'm about to take on. And in the course of that conversation, I said, look, this is what I would require to have my needs met. And after a few moments in that conversation, the person came back saying, why don't we round it up a little bit more? And I said, okay, I'm not going to say no to more money. And then the person said, well, why don't we add a little bit more on top of that? And I was like, sure. See, this is what happens. When you value yourself, others will value you as well. There is no spot where God is not. So there is no spot where love is not. And that includes within you. So if you're looking within yourself and saying, I don't feel so great in there, that's what I mean by it's time to elevate that thinking, right? There's no spot where God is not, and therefore there's no spot where love is not. All else is illusion, a cosmic drama meant to lure you away from the truth. And the more you heal, the more you will experience this kingdom here and now. The more you'll be used as a vessel of love, the more you will attract beautiful and loving people into your life, the more incredible opportunities you'll be given to express the love within you in life. And these are the tangible benefits that you can experience as you heal. So each one of these 6 benefits you and moves you closer to living out your full potential. So you tell me, is this worth it? Is even one of these worth it? Let me know in the comments which of these 6 most resonates with you. And as always, I'm here for you to support you on your healing journey in a safe, confidential, and experienced manner. Please reach out to me via my website, nowirise.com, or book a one-on-one session via the link in description. Thank you so much for being here, for your dedication to growth, and for your wonderful support. Until next time, may peace be with you.